Daniel Hayes was not the kind of billionaire who demanded attention. He didn't walk around with an entourage, nor did he announce his success through expensive clothing or flashy accessories. In fact, most people didn't recognize him unless they closely followed international financial news. To him, wealth had only ever been a responsibility, something given to him so he could create opportunities for others. But even men like Daniel had enemies. Some enemies did not show themselves until the moment they were ready to strike. That evening, Daniel had dropped by a small, cozy café far outside the city center, a place known only to locals. He liked quiet spaces where people simply were, instead of performing for the world. The place smelled of warm bread, fresh herbs, and brewed coffee. Soft jazz played in the background. Outside, night had settled with a gentle hush. The waitress assigned to his table was Emily Carter. Emily was 27, tired, and working 2 jobs to help her younger brother through college after their parents had passed away. She did not know the luxury of rest, but she did know how to read people. Her whole life had sharpened her instincts the way hardship always does. And something about Daniel's guards bothered her. 2 of them stood near the exit. Tall, well-built, wearing identical black suits, communication earpieces, and expressions that gave nothing away. That part wasn't unusual. But when one of them leaned in toward the other and muttered, Emily noticed something. The language was wrong. German. Not just German but clipped military German. The kind used by trained operatives. She didn't speak German fluently, but her late father had been a linguistics professor, and some sounds stay in the blood. Her heart tightened. She glanced at Daniel. He sat alone, stirring coffee that had long gone cold, reading something on his phone. He seemed tired, thoughtful, unaware. She swallowed. Should she say something? Who was she, after all? Just a waitress. Someone who refilled coffee cups and smiled politely. But something inside her wouldn't let her stay silent. As Daniel rose to leave, placing his wallet on the counter to pay, Emily stepped closer, her hands trembling as she handed him his receipt. "Sir," she whispered, her voice almost too soft to hear, "please don't get into your car." Daniel blinked. "I'm sorry." She leaned in, eyes wide with urgency. "Your guards, they were speaking German. They don't work for you. I don't know how I know, but I know something is wrong. Please, just don't walk outside with them." There was a moment where time paused. The restaurant felt too quiet. The hum of the refrigerator in the back seemed too loud. Daniel stared at her. To Emily, her words sounded ridiculous. A billionaire, surrounded by trained professionals, being warned by a tired waitress making less than minimum wage? But Daniel didn't dismiss her. He didn't laugh. He didn't scoff. Because he saw something in her eyes, fear, yes, but also certainty. Genuine certainty. He whispered back, "Stay calm." He didn't turn his head, but he subtly checked his guards' positions reflected in the window glass. Their stance was wrong. Their formation was wrong. Their earpieces were wrong. His real security team used a different model entirely. His pulse quickened. He had been compromised. Emily's breath caught as he gently guided her behind him, moving carefully, casually, as though nothing were wrong. The imposter guard stepped forward, smiling politely. "Sir, the car is ready." Daniel smiled, a practiced, businesslike smile. "That won't be necessary," he replied, slipping his phone from his pocket. "I'll call my driver myself." They exchanged a quick look. Not a look of confusion, a look of irritation. And then everything happened in seconds. One guard reached inside his blazer. Emily's gasp tore from her throat. But Daniel had already reacted. He grabbed her hand and pulled her down just as a flash of silver glinted under the cafe's dim lights. The real cafe staff screamed. Chairs fell. A ceramic plate shattered on the floor. The imposter lunged. But before chaos could consume the room, the sound of shattering glass and heavy boots hit the entrance. Daniel's Real security team had arrived. 3 agents tackled the imposters to the ground within seconds. The restaurant echoed with grunts, the thud of bodies hitting tables, and the metallic click of handcuffs. Emily covered her mouth, stunned, shaking. Daniel knelt beside her. "You saved my life." She shook her head. "I didn't know, You trusted your instincts," he said softly. "Most people ignore theirs. That takes courage." Sirens wailed outside as local authorities joined the scene. The imposters were dragged away, furious and shouting. Daniel helped her stand. He noticed the tear in her sleeve where she had fallen, the dust on her cheek, the fear in her breathing. "You didn't have to say anything," he said, his voice steady and warm. "But you did. And that decision changed everything." Her voice cracked. "I just couldn't stay quiet." Daniel exhaled. Deeply, slowly, the kind of breath someone takes when they realize their life almost ended. "Emily, I need someone like you," he said. She blinked. "Like me. A person who sees what others don't, who speaks when others choose silence. I have a program, one that trains people exactly like you for real-world intelligence and crisis assessment roles. If you're willing, I'd like to sponsor your training. Full scholarship. And a job when you're ready." Emily stared at him, tears welling. All those nights working double shifts. All the exhaustion. All the fear of failing her brother. "Why?" she whispered. He smiled, soft, human, grateful. "Because today you saved my life. Let me help rebuild yours." Her tears fell freely now, not of fear but of release. And for the first time in a very long time, she felt seen. Not as a waitress. Not as someone worn thin by life. But as someone with strength. Someone who mattered.